Wrong can of spray. Right, so in this episode, what we're going to do is deal with the paint on the bonnet, because it really is looking absolutely shocking. When I painted the sides of the car the other day and covered the bonnet in plastic, I think some paint vapour must have got under the plastic or something, because it caused it to bubble and react, and the bonnet was in a terrible state anyway. So there's no other thing for it. I'm biting the bullet and I'm going to paint the bonnet. I'm just sanding it here with 80 grit sanding discs, and it really isn't doing the job. It's just not getting through it. I don't know what that paint is on there, but it is terrible. It really is awful. Just finding some rust there where as I start to go through the paint, I end up finding rust that's forming underneath, so I'm grinding that right the way out. There's several layers of paint on the car, and I think the last layer wasn't great. It also looks like it's the old single coat paint where you got the colour and the gloss all in one go, because there just appears to be like a top coat and a primer on top of another top coat and another primer. There's not like a clear coat on the top of it, which is the system that is used now. So really trying to go at it, but I'm just not making very much progress at all. Going through discs continuously, trying to do it in a sort of logical order so I can see where I've been, but it's really hard going. It is in such a bad state. You know that? It's like the surface of the moon. It's so bad, I'm going to have to go and get some much coarser sanding discs, and I'm going to have to start probably at 40 grit and bring it all the way back. I will return. So I went and got the most aggressive sanding discs I could get, with a view to getting all of this top coat down to something nice and smooth. The coarsest I could get was 60 grit, and they actually were performing better. I went through the best part of 30 sanding discs by the time I actually got this bonnet down. You can really see on the right hand side of the screen there just how bad the original finish was. I mean, there's nothing like a flat finish. It's not flat, it's not glossy, it just is in a bad state. At least these discs are now achieving something and actually getting the paint taken down. Doing all of this took hours and hours. Right, that's taken the best part of 30 60 grit discs to get the worst of it out. I'm now going to go over it all again with 120 grit, and then we'll blow some primer over it, and then we'll look at any filling or anything we need once we can block the primer down later. So as I said then, what I'm looking at doing now is taking out all the sanding scratches from the 60 grit discs with the 120s, getting it even further level and getting all the sort of roughness and crazing out of it. I'm not doing any filling on those places where I've ground the rust out, because what I actually want is I want the epoxy primer to be touching where the rust was, because it's got rust inhibitor in it, and I want to be able to put the filler over the top of the epoxy primer, not underneath it where it might fail. Also, as you'll see later in the video, by priming it completely and then blocking it down, it makes it really easy to see where all those low spots are that need to be filled. Now, of course, typically when I was spraying the car, the camera started doing something it's been doing a lot recently, and started just randomly not recording, or recording for 2 seconds and then shutting down, not making any warning bleeps, not giving me any indication that it's not recording. So I lost all footage of me actually spraying the car. But anyway, it had 3 coats of primer, and then after I talk to you in a sec, it gets another coat of primer. Okay, so we just need to give that a couple of minutes, well 10 probably, just to flash off, and we'll give it a 3rd coat. It's the hottest day of the year, so this is going to flash off real quick, and then what I'm going to do is shut the garage door and leave it and just walk away, and we'll come back on Sunday, block it down, because there will be bits in it, there will be orange peel in it, so we'll block it down flat because it's Wednesday today. So Sunday we'll have given it an opportunity to go off, and we'll block it down, and then Sunday top coat it, clear coat it, and again walk away, leave it. It'll have plenty of time to dry, and then we've got a day or so where I can tea-cut it, and well, not tea-cut, but you know, polish compound it and shine it up a bit, and then it's almost time for the car show, so we're just going to get in, we're just going to squeak this. But anyway, you don't need to see me spray this again. So the other day we sanded this bonnet down to get the terrible paint off of it and gave it several coats of primer. What we now need to do is block it down, top coat it, and clear coat it. Obviously I haven't got a paint booth, I've barely got a garage, this is going to be an awful job. I'm also in a terrible mood because so far this morning, if it could go wrong, it has gone wrong, including with your camera. So this is the plan. What we need to be able to do is block it down flat to see all the low spots. And I know I've got low spots because I've got places where I sanded right the way through to get rust out. So accepted wisdom, wrong can of spray. Accepted wisdom is to give everything a dusting of black, because that lets you help see where the lows are, apparently. Right, so this is 320 grit paper. Right, so that bit there is not looking too bad. That's coming down quite nicely. And I will, this is 320, I will give this a lot more with a DA, but if I just DA this now, the problem is it won't tell me where the lows are. It will just polish them out. It will just follow them. And most of that's coming down really nicely, but we've got a low there, 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 and there. And they're going to correspond to lows where I took rust out. Straight away we've got a low there. So we've got a low there, 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 there. See, what we're doing here is we're doing 2 jobs. We're flattening this primer so that it will take the top coat really nicely, but we can also do that with a DA. But we're also getting to see where the low spots are. So what I can do in a minute then, once I know where they all are, is I can sand them down inside individually, and then I can put some dolphin glaze over the top of them, which is very, very fine filler, just to bring them up a bit. because they're where there was a rust patch. And what I did was I cut right the way through to the metal in order to get the rust out. You see, if you don't do this with a block, what you'll end up doing is sanding inside it and therefore hiding it. So what we're going to do with these edges is put some top coat slightly over the top and then put some clear coat slightly further over, and then spray blending spray on it, and that should melt it in and it should give us like a fade. Because one of the problems, the paint that I'm using is correct for the car, but I think the paint that's on it is slightly yellower or slightly more golden. It's probably because of its age. So like where I'd painted this wing previously, it was really jarring. The difference, the colour difference was really jarring. I've learnt my lesson from last time and completely unwrapped the car, because otherwise you get all this sanding dust all over the wrap, and as soon as you blow top coat on it, it blows all of this back into the paint. So that was a lesson I learnt doing the roof. So once again, God knows how much of that you got, because the bloody camera stopped again. Honestly, I don't know why I do this YouTube lot. Still running? Oh my God, you're actually still running. Amazing. Right, so just giving it a final touch up. We've got a couple more lows over there where there isn't enough dolphin glaze. Just a bit of 600 paper just to take out the last. You can see it and even hear it when it's right. I can just see a shadow on there, which is just coming out now. There's a little shadow there. Let's come out. And we're a bit low on some of those. I mean, I don't know why I'm bothering to go to this effort, because I'm going to paint it and then a bird's going to crap in it or something, or a squirrel will come and make a nest in it while the paint's wet, or a cat will walk straight over it. Derek from GM6 told us that story the other day where he painted a car and his cat looked at it and went, "Oh, that looks comfy," and went and sat on it. See what you can see going on here, we've got a low there, tiny low there, high there, high there. So it's all sort of evening out. And there, you can hear that? You can actually hear it there. Let's just let me see another couple of places here. I cannot tell you how smooth that feels. It feels so smooth, it feels unsettling. This car's going to need a serious wash afterwards. Right, let's stop prattling about with it. Let's blow it off, mask it up, continue titivating anything I see, and let's paint the damn thing. Now what we want to be able to do is have a soft edge here. So if we fold the tape in half, So just then, when I was mixing the paint, the bloody camera died again. Can't put it off any longer, we're just gonna have to do it. Okay. Splattering like anything. Why are you splattering? Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, you will have noticed during that I changed spray gun halfway through. The first one, which has never been used with primer, has only ever been used with top coat and clear coat, was splattering like anything. It was awful, genuinely dreadful. I hope the clear coat will make it look a lot better than that, because right now it looks awful. It looks genuinely terrible. It was going on like porridge at one point. It's like Artex. You hear it? It's not gone on flat at all. It's gone terrible. I don't know whether I should just clear coat it and hope for the best, or if I should rub it down. I was wondering if I should put some 1000 grit over it. Genuinely don't know. Oh, let's hope the clear does its job. Right, that needs about 15 or 20 minutes left alone, and then one more over the top when it's tacky. I'm hoping that I can put enough on that I'll be able to polish it back like I did the roof, but that didn't turn out too bad in the end.